A few days ago, I posted a video about the upcoming Space Jam film, Space Jam 2, because some of the fans were outraged at the new character design. But it transpires that story isn't quite finished because Warner Brothers have cancelled the character Pepe Le Pew because, and this is the world we're living in, they're worried he might be normalising rape. Of course, all forms of sexual violence are utterly abhorrent, and if I ran the judicial system, sex offenders wouldn't spend years languishing in comfy prisons, talking about their feelings in group therapy and costing the taxpayer hundreds of thousands of pounds. No, they'd be strung up by their bollocks from the nearest lamppost. But I don't think a cartoon skunk from the 1940s fits in the same category. I think the problem, as is so often the case, is that when we look at something from the past through our modern values and standards, it can seem problematic. When Pepe is trying to kiss the female character without her consent, we know that's inappropriate. But I don't think that's the intention behind the character. Pepe Le Pew was looking for love. He was pursuing the character Penelope Pussycat because, given that they had similar fur, he wrongly assumed she was a female skunk. Now, I never saw that character as a sex pest. If anything, I thought it was a rather racist, lazy stereotype, suggesting that just because he was French, he would have to be a foul-smelling, lecherous pervert. Although based on the Frenchmen I've met, that's a fairly accurate description. Luckily, it only took 76 years for someone to decide the character was problematic. But now he's been axed, he's been cancelled, so parents around the world can look at their children and say, "Don't worry kids, we won't have to look at that horrible cartoon anymore." Let's carry on with Game of Thrones. In this episode, Joffrey kills 2 whores with a crossbow. Even though it was Warner Brothers who got rid of the character, it's part of what's becoming known as cancel culture, and broadly speaking, I'm against it. If something is so terrible, so offensive, and importantly that we cannot learn anything from it, then fair enough, get rid of it. But increasingly, it seems that any of these fuckers who make it their business to be offended by everything, can go online and demand that a thing or a person is cancelled. There's currently a campaign on TikTok to cancel Eminem, because some younger people are offended by one line in a song he recorded with Rihanna 11 years ago. If that's the only thing they find offensive about Eminem, they haven't listened to his fucking back catalogue. Eminem's early work was all about women being lying bitches and hating gay people, whereas now, he doesn't want any fans if they voted for Donald Trump, and he's friends with Elton John. The world has moved on, and he has changed, so why go for character assassination over something he said a decade ago? Marshall hit back by releasing a song called Tone Deaf. If you haven't heard it, I urge you to. As usual, it is a lyrical masterpiece. But how thick do these people have to be on TikTok to try and start a war of words with Slim fucking Shady, a guy who's been at the top of the rap game for over 20 years? A few days ago, whilst I was driving home, I accidentally put my car stereo onto Radio 1. And if you're from outside the UK, that's a station aimed at the youth. And I didn't like what I heard. To me, it sounded like a dyslexic teenager with severe Tourette's trying to read aloud whilst rhythmically kicking the side of a wheelie bin. But I didn't race home and start an online petition to cancel Radio 1. Because an online petition is just a list of whinging fuckers who want everyone else to be as miserable as they are. Nor did I take to TikTok to get Radio 1 cancelled, because I don't have the requisite brain damage to fit in with 95% of the content creators. What I actually did was change the radio station. I didn't demand that other people can't listen to it just because I don't like it. And I get the same sort of thing on this channel. People commenting, "I don't like your content." Well, don't fucking watch it then. I've noticed that cancel culture is mostly being propagated by people who are unable to accept another person's point of view. They are right and everyone else is wrong. There's also a trend at the moment to pick a celebrity they don't like and scroll back through their social media until they find something, anything, that paints the celebrity in a bad light. And it doesn't matter if they were speaking with humour or irony or double entendre, or if they were just having a fucking bad day. It's an excuse to throw them under the bus. And it can be done with anyone. If I said to think of a world leader from the 20th century who believed in racial superiority and that his people were descended from a group known as the Aryans. Who's that? Well, obviously, it's Adolf Hitler. It's also Gandhi. That was Gandhi's philosophy. Do we now have to cancel Gandhi? I imagine the people who spend their time trying to dig up dirt so they can get something cancelled because they don't like it, or ruin the life of someone they have never met, are the type of people who will look at themselves in the mirror while masturbating and shout their own name when they orgasm. But the worst thing is whenever something gets cancelled, it allows someone else to claim to be a victim. When we cancel Katie Hopkins, we hand the moral high ground to Katie fucking Hopkins. What a time to be alive. As ever, thanks for watching.